Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Behind Her Brand Monday Morning Brew. And today we're going to talk about the agreement. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day. I know today's Monday, and yesterday was Mother's Day, but I still wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to anyone that is a mom in whatever capacity: God mom, foster mom, adopted mom, whatever capacity you're in as a mom. I hope that yesterday you were loved, you felt the love, that you were cared for, and just reminded about the amazing mom that you are to the people in your life. So, okay, I hope you get your coffee, your tea, and maybe some pen and paper today. We're gonna talk just for a few moments about the agreement. And what I mean by agreement is the power of agreement, what we are agreeing to in our lives. The other day, I did a post about Charles and I were saying, or just sharing with everyone, that we're so grateful for the things that God is doing in our lives. And we've been stretched, our faith has been stretched. We've been outside of our comfort zone. We've had some challenges, but it has grown us together so much. And someone had reached out to us and asked us, how do you go through things and keep staying connected and close and things of that nature? And it made me think about the agreements that him and I have made, not just in our marriage, but even individually in our own lives. And this is what made me want to talk about today, is that sometimes we don't realize how powerful what we choose to agree to, how powerful that can show up in our lives. For example, if you're building your business right now, or if you're contemplating renewing a relationship, maybe you're thinking about starting something new, whatever it might be, if you find yourself saying that, I never have time, I don't have the resources, I'm not really popular on social media, so I don't know if people are really going to care, I don't have the support system in my life. Or on the other side of it, maybe it's, I never can seem to lose weight. Every time I try this, it doesn't work. If you find yourself saying statements like this, what you typically may find, whether you see it or not, is that you consciously or unconsciously live out those different kind of statements. You may find yourself saying that, okay, I never have the type of tribe, or not tribe, but um, group around me that really helps me go to that next place. And then if you are thinking that, saying that, and speaking that, typically what shows up is that you don't have the kind of people that are supportive to you. If you find that you're saying, I'm trying everything, but nothing's ever working, maybe it's because and you fill in a blank and you're saying something negative about yourself, your skills, or your experiences, you tend to walk into that every single day. It's an agreement. When you speak something, you come into agreement with it. And when you come into agreement with something, you walk that thing out, whether you realize it or not. So, like for us, we made an agreement right before we got married that divorce would never be on the table. That no matter what no matter what life throws us, we would never ever say that we're going to get a divorce. That was our agreement. So whenever life comes together, instead of us pulling apart, we've worked to pull together. And because of that agreement, because life can make a lot of relationships be torn apart, we just made a decision that will not be our story. That would not be our confession. That would not be our statement. So when we're being stretched and our faith is like, whew, instead of me going to my corner, him going to his, we say, let's pull in together deeper. Let's talk more. We pray more. We do a lot of different things, and we just come together. And because of that agreement, we've been able to get through life and get through challenge and get through ups and downs really well together because of our agreement. And part of that agreement also, let me say this too, is whenever you're making agreements, whether it's business, personal, individually, what have you, the power, that word, the power of agreement really lies in what lies within you. Okay, let me share that. If you work through the things that I know we've talked about over the weeks, the things that lies within you, maybe if you struggle with time management, if you struggle with consistency, if you struggle with keeping your word, if you struggle with thinking positive thought, if you struggle in whatever capacity it is, when you're working those things out in you and you're working on building yourself up, you're working on literally the different things that you say, you know what, these are the things that keep hemming me up. You'll find that, for example, you come into agreement with your own healing. You come into agreement with your own work. You come in agreement with your own self-development. It makes it so much stronger than when you come into agreement in other situations with your dreams and your goals. Let me give you an example. If within you, you feel like you're not adequate to really step out there in a really powerful way and make a difference in people's lives, if you peel back the layers of that and find out, why do I feel that way? And you trace back whatever the root of that is and you uproot that, you're not going to walk out here and say that I'm not able to make a difference. I'm not able to do that. No, what you're going to start saying, and you'll notice this, is I know that this is an area of struggle for me. However, I know that I can be great. I know that I can do well. I know that there's more for me. I know that I can be an impact. I know that I can be an influence. It's not saying that you don't recognize the things that you have to work through, but when you start really recognizing those things, the power of the agreement comes in just shifting of how you're starting to see it, and the shifting in how you're walking in it, the shifting in what you're speaking. That is where the power lies. You have to really look at what's going on within you. Consciously, you may think about it. Unconsciously, you may not realize it. But when you start doing that personal work, you'll show up differently in business. Your clients are going to see you differently. Your kids will see you differently. Your spouse may see you differently. You walk into a different level of agreement. You start saying, you know what? I am believing that whatever I'm in today is not going to be the thing that I'm going to stay in. I'm believing that my business is going to grow. I'm believing that I'm going to attract the right people that want to be connected to me. I'm believing that I'm going to have the most amazing friendships that are going to pour into me, and I'm going to pour into them. I'm in agreement that I'm going to be healthy. I'm in agreement that I'm going to not always be in debt. I am going to be in a place where I'll have options in my life, not based on finances, but based on what me and my family want to do. Like when you start saying that, to some degree, that may sound like declarations, which they are, but when you come into agreement with that, what follows is your actions. What follows is your thought process. What follows is everything over here to help you come into agreement in this space. So, for example, if I'm sitting here saying that I really want to grow my business, and if I say, well, you know what, man, this, that, and the other, it never seems to happen. And every day I wake up with that feeling, with that gunk, with that thought process, I'm not going to show up in a powerful way. I'm just not. So I always, and I can say that word always, come into agreement that I'm going to always do everything and anything I can to walk out everything that God has given me to do. And so when I say that and I come into agreement with that, that means that no matter what comes around it, ups, downs, good days, bad days, whatever, I'm in agreement. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm not going to let this go. I'm gonna walk out everything I'm supposed to do. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to walk it out. And what that does, it forces me to make sure that whatever may come my way that may try to go against what I'm agreeing with and agreeing to, it allows me to work with that. It allows me to face that. It allows me to really overcome whatever obstacle comes my way, because I'm gridlocked. You're not coming past my agreement. And if we look at that as it comes to our business, as it relates to our personal development, as it relates to our friendships, our marriages, our relationship with our kids, when we look at that, ask yourself, what am I coming into agreement with every single day? And how is that agreement impacting my life? And I'm in on this note. And the Bible sounds kind of abrupt, right? I didn't mean for it to sound that abrupt, but I really want to challenge you on looking at, what am I coming in agreement with? What am I speaking? What am I believing? What am I walking out? And how is that affecting myself? How is that affecting my family? How is that affecting my relationships? How is that affecting my business? And when you look at what you're coming to agreement with, anything that's not healthy, positive, or moving you forward, I want to encourage you to get out of that agreement and create something new and fresh. Create a new agreement with yourself. Create a new agreement with those in your life. Create a new agreement with your kids, your clients, with your business partners, your team, whatever you need to do anew. Create a new agreement, because I believe wholeheartedly in what we come in agreement to, typically is the very thing that we start living out in our day-to-day life. And so, like, I go back to the original example real quick. Before we got married, when we made that agreement, we knew making that agreement that this would never be on the table. We knew that we were going to have to do the work personally to make sure that whatever's within us, that we work it out, so that we can both show up really well for ourselves and then for our children as well. We knew that we were going to be doing business together. So again, we had to work out whatever's in ourselves so that we can come together and we can really and truly build together. And because of that, that's not ever an option. We can have amazing days and we can have some hard days. But the one thing that never comes on the table is that there's going to be an ending of our relationship. That was an agreement that we came to. It's an agreement that we're both so grateful that we came to, because that's never even a thought or an option for us. And we took that model and we put it in other spaces in our lives, individually and collectively. Come into agreement with the things that you really want to live out. Okay. So this is more of a personal challenge, I know. So I'm not going to ask you to write down what you're coming into agreement with, but if there's anything you want to share based off of hearing this, I would absolutely love for you to share it below. I think this is such a powerful thing that can shift so many different things. It can shift your relationships. It can shift the results that you're getting in your life. It can shift how you show up in the world. It can even shift the things that your kids and people around you see. It can cause such a powerful shift depending on what it is you choose to come into agreement with. So I can't wait to see your comments and hear what you all have to share. I hope and pray that this week is such an amazing week of shifting, of new open doors, great opportunities coming your way, and just a great week for you, period. All right. I thank y'all for listening to me today, and I can't wait to hear your responses. All right. Make it a good day.